Okay. Hi guys, how you all doing? I hope you had a great week. I hope you're having a great weekend. All right. So I have a lot to share with you guys today. So just stick around till the end. And if you're a new subscriber, if you're a new viewer, please do subscribe and like. All right. Okay. So just stick around till the end. I have some things that I have to share with you based on the chart, right? But first of all, let's do a quick little review on the analysis that I gave out last week. And also remember that I'm not a financial advisor, all right? So if you must take trade based on what I said, you should consult your financial advisor, all right? You should consult them before you take the trade, all right? So let's do a quick review of last week trade. All right, let's do a quick review. So last week, let's go to 4 hour. All right, I'm just gonna do it like really quickly. So last week we talked about this fair value gap here. That was my point of interest. All right. So one thing that I want to let you know is that if you can find just one move a week, that's enough. All right. That's enough if you can find one move a week. I'm trying to take this back as I'm talking. I'm not paying that. Okay, so we had this structure here last week, all right, where I talked about we swept this liquidity, and what next? We should see price gets to these two targets, one here and the second one, this target. So we got to one target, we didn't get to the second one, this target. So it's gonna be here. So we got to this and we didn't get to this one, which is fine, all right? So as you can see, price pulled back down even before, as soon as market opened, we pulled back down, went back up there, created liquidity up here that needs to be taken out, came back down, and the rest was history before price started dropping, then we got here. All right, for those that are on my free Telegram, as soon as price got to this level here, I updated you guys telling you that price is bearish now. As soon as price was here, I updated everyone telling you guys that price is bearish, so we need to see price come sweep this liquidity. All right, we need to see price come sweep this liquidity. I need to make a video. So price did that, and that was it. All right, nothing else. Just these two move for the week. It's enough. All right. Once you know what price did and where it's likely to go to, it's easy. It's gonna be easier for you to catch that. Okay, we caught one more buy. Which was this buy. It was just a small move. Which was this buy. Which I said I promised those in the free Telegram channel that I'm gonna talk about this trade that I took. Okay, so I went on lower time frame on 15 minute. Since I already know where price is at, you can see that we swept this liquidity here and we created an inversion fair value gap here, and there was a fair value gap here, and price kept on pushing. I didn't take the buy from here. All right, I didn't take the buy from here. So, but if you are taking the buy from here, it's still okay, but I didn't take the buy from here because I know that during New York section, if this buy wants to continue going high, I'm going to catch that buy. All right, though we had this fat fair value gap here, we had a fair value gap here on 4 hour, but where that fair value gap was at, I didn't trust it because of what's happening here. All right, what's happening here and what the higher time frame is saying. So if we're going to push down lower, I will see it also during New York section. So this was New York section around here. Okay, wait, let me use this other chart. Because I marked out my time here. So during New York section, you can see we had this SMT. I don't trade SMT that much, but sometimes if it's necessary, I can just look at it. So we had this SMT here. So having this SMT here, I took the first trade based off 5 minutes. This was 5 minutes. As soon as price closed above, let me zoom this so that you can see it clearer. Because I promised those that I'm gonna do a breakdown of this trade. I took like 3 trades here. I'm going to do the breakdown of those three trades. All right. So we had this. What can you see here? You can see that price failed to sweep this London low. Okay. So as soon as I saw this, we had this. Let me cut it. Let me cut this so you can see. So as soon as we had this change in state of delivery here, which is also an order block, I started looking for buys here. So I took the first buy up to this high, and I told myself, if price wants to continue going higher, I have to go back on 15 minutes to see a fair value gap on 15 minutes, telling me that price wants to continue going higher. All right. So then, okay, then on 15 minute, so I took my first profit here. I closed all my trade here. Then I waited for 15 minutes. So 15 minutes also created its own. All right. The reason why I see this as change in state of delivery, I'm going to show you why. It's not just when you just see two candles out of nowhere, it becomes this change of, no. There will be some things that you will see inside. All right. So there was an inversion fair value gap inside that's already telling you that. And if you look up here, there's also a breaker. Okay. There's also a breaker because price trapped many sellers here. There were going to be many sellers who are going to take a sell based on this because they see it as a change instead of delivery. That's totally wrong. That's totally wrong. Sometimes it can move, but many times it's going to fail. All right, it's going to fail many times. So, but once you're aligning it with the inversion fair value gap, I don't expect this inversion fair value gap to push price lower because it doesn't. There's nothing. It doesn't line up with anything. So now we have an inversion fair value gap and we have a change in state of delivery. So I started looking for next buy from up here. All right. So as soon as this candle closed, this one, let me pause this. Keep pushing. Oof. Oh, I thought that was a pause. Okay. So as soon as this closed, all right. As soon as this closed here, so I saw this as even more confirmation that this is an order block. So I mark this as my order block here. The price wants to continue going higher. All right. Okay. So price wants to continue going higher. Then on the next tap of this, all right, I took my next buy. And looked at, also went on 5 minutes to refine this. Refine it. There was another order block. So I took my order buy from here and we went higher. I wanted to take this trade also. There was another setup that got formed here. So for those of my students, I do tell you guys something about this. This will now be a breakaway gap. All right. So we expect this to hold. We don't expect price to come back here. But if it wants to, it can, but I'm not going to do anything anymore. So I expect this, if price wants to continue showing us the bullish momentum, I want to see this one hold. But unfortunately, I won't lie, I didn't take this trade. I was distracted. I wasn't paying attention because, come on, I've already taken 2 buys here. I won't keep chasing price. All right. So if I hadn't taken any trade here, I will take this one because this one will be more high probability for me. So if you want to take this trade, all you just have to do is just go on 5 minutes. You can refine it on other time frame, but these days I find refining trade on 5 minutes more high probability. I like the way it is because once you see that 5 minutes show you that confirmation, if it doesn't hold, it's not gonna hold. But sometimes this other lower time frame might give you the fake move because there's so many things happening there. But it still all depends on you though. But for me, I like 5 minutes. All right. So I went on 5 minutes. I was okay. As I said, I got distracted on this trade. All right. I got distracted. The time that I came back to the trade was the 5 minutes already created the fair value gap. I'd be like, okay, let me just let this trade just go. All right. Let me just let it go. So this was how 5 minutes did its thing. So we had this fair value gap here and price pulled back into it and boom, went up here. So it pulled back into it, then the rest was history. And it took out this liquidity here. And if you look up here, we'll have an order block up there. So if you have taken this trade, you should be closing your profit here and just take what the market gives you and go. All right? Just take what the market gives you and go. So as you all know, I don't do much of, I don't, not like I don't trade, I trade high time frame momentum. So I don't have to wait for market structure shift to go up and come down and do all this shit. So I don't trade that. But if it happens, it happens. But I always align myself with the higher time frame. That's why my trade confirmations are usually like this. Okay, so I just give you guys something here. All right, so this really works for me. But this fair value gap will still remain here. It's still gonna remain here. All right, so I still left the fair value gap here. Want to see price drop back into it. So that's why I took the this was it, yeah, the third sell that I took here. For me, that's not over trading. All right, so on this I went to the 15 minutes. I wanted to see a displacement on 15 minutes. Like I want to see a fair value gap on 15 minutes, telling me that we want to go lower. So as soon as I saw this little fair value gap here, price was pushing, and I saw this fair value gap here. And next thing that I wanted to see a sweep, a liquidity sweep. Okay, this is me scalping. This is how I scalp. A liquidity sweep. Can just scalp, just go on that time frame and scalp. All right. So I wanted to see a liquidity sweep on my 5 minutes. Bro, 5 minutes is the thing for me these days. So remember, this was the fair value gap on 15 minutes. All right. So I went on 5 minutes and I waited for liquidity sweep. You can see price hasn't tapped here yet, right? So this is my drawn liquidity. This is still my drawn liquidity. Let me actually delete this. It doesn't make much sense anymore. So this was my drawn liquidity, and then I wanted to see this liquidity sweep. I'm going to talk about this liquidity sweep. I'm going to make a separate video on this liquidity sweep, but I want us to get to 1,000 subscribers first. So do like and share my videos, all right, so that others can benefit from it, because now I'm going to be dropping a lot of stuff for you guys, not just the weekly analysis. I'm going to be doing more of trade review, showing you how I took some trades that I took, right? So once the opportunity is there, and I'm not distracted, bro, I'm going to take it, all right? I'm going to take it. So then this liquidity was swept here, and we tapped that fair value gap. So next thing that I want to see an inversion fair value gap here. I want to see the inversion fair value gap. Remember, I'm going to show you something. Look here also, this buy here, there was inversion fair value gap. This one here that I showed you here earlier, there was inversion fair value gap. This thing is something else. This inversion fair value gap. So now I want to see this close here. I can show you the trades if you want to see them. So then as soon as price came back here, I took my sell. It was just a quick sell. Not about risk to reward. It's a A+ setup. A+ setup. So we have this inversion, and if you look, let me zoom. If you look, also we closed below this candle. We closed below this candle that created this fair value gap, right? We closed below this candle, or if you want to say we closed below this, we also close below this. All right. This becomes an order block inversion. Everything is there. Sweep of liquidity. Everything is there. So just take your trade. Let the thing do its thing. So my target was just here. All right, my stop loss was up here. So I think it's like 1-to-1 trade, but it doesn't matter to me. Once I see my A+ setup, I take my trade. So as soon as price got here, swept this liquidity, I closed my trade, and I was done for the day. Okay, so this was the trade review, this trade that I took on Friday. All right, so for those in my free Telegram, if you have a question based on the trade that I just did here, you can text me. Can answer your questions free of charge. All right. So let's get to the business of the day. All right. What are we expecting on NAS next? Let's go on higher time frame and first see what NAS has been doing on higher time frame. Remember, I've been calling this move to the upside. All right. But price has been choppy. It's been chopping up and down. But what I'm doing is that I'm calling long-term direction, the order flow. Because no matter what price does on lower time frame and go up and go down, it's keep going higher and higher, right? It keep going higher. So that is what I'm doing. That doesn't mean that we're only just gonna buy. No, you can do your whole thing, but put that in mind that price, we're still bullish. All right, we're still bullish. If we're bullish, you can wait for maybe liquidity sweep to take a long-term buy, or price pull back into an order block, you take a long-term buy. All right, so that's what we've been doing all this while. So now let me delete all this. I'm still gonna show you. Okay, you've seen why this line was the one here, was this one. The price swept it here. So I like to mark out those weekly levels. All right. So guys, you need to be patient. You need to be patient, and when they say price repeat does the same thing, that doesn't mean that if we buy yesterday, we'll buy today. If we trade off a breaker yesterday, it's gonna trade off a breaker again today. No, but this thing, it repeats. You understand? When price gets to a level, it's likely that two things, one will happen. So if we get to this level, it's likely that price might use it as support, resistance, and go further. Or when it gets to this level, it might sweep it. It might sweep it and continue higher. You understand? So that's why it says price repeats. But that doesn't mean it must just go only lower or it must just go only higher. No. It's left for you to check your checkbox, what is happening, what just happened, what's likely to happen next. Let's say you have your check or whatever they call it. You have your checkbox that when price come here, you want to see if it sweep or not. Okay, let's say price broke below. You want to check, okay, do we have a fair value gap? Do we have a displacement? Do we have a breaker block? Like, you need to check some things like what is there. Okay, we have that. Then you relax, you wait. Okay, now are we in a kill zone? Even if price is going lower, you wait for a kill zone, because trust me, even if you wait for a kill zone, you're still gonna catch that trade. It doesn't matter if you catch it from up here or if you catch it from the middle, because you might try to catch it here and price will start going up again. You understand? So you want to wait for your things to get checked out and then you catch your trade. Right? I'm just giving you something extra that you can work on based on what's been happening on NASDAQ for a while now. All right? So that doesn't mean you can be profitable from this move. You should be. You have to. Just have to stick to your rules. All right? Okay, so now looking at NASDAQ, let me actually delete all this. I'm going to get them all back. So we're on the weekly, right? Remember, things are always line out. So that where are we on the weekly? We're still respecting this fair value gap. That is one thing. That is how you need to start your analysis. We're still respecting this fair value gap. And with this fair value gap, what do we have here? This is an order block. This is another block, an order block, right? It's an order block. And we expect this order block and this fair value gap to push price at least to this high here. I still insist, because there's a possibility that price is getting here. I still insist that we're getting here. Unless we fail to, which is possible also, unless we fail and I start seeing a displacement going lower, that is when I will be like, okay, we're going to have a long-term sell. But for now, I still see a long-term buy. All right. So looking at this candle that came to this fair value gap, though it's not a bearish candle, but I will still want to trade that as where I want to see price support. I don't want to see price close below it. I don't want to see price close below this and below this. If we close below these two candles, there's a problem. All right. It can come and sweep it at any time. That is a long-term thing that I'm talking about now. It can come and sweep it if it wants to. Can come and sweep this if it wants to, because remember, price could tap into a fair value gap as much as it wants. Right? It tap into it as much as it wants. So these are one of the things that I'm gonna be teaching you. Gonna be teaching you all this, and if you pay attention and write things down, you're gonna learn a lot, because this trading, you don't have to complicate it. Just keep some simple things there and try to catch your pips on daily. If you don't see anything, you stay away. If you're confused, you just stay away. All right? I just feel pity for those who the NAS has been chopping for days now. I'm not gonna say that I've been making like the amount of pips that I was making when price was moving like this. You understand? Because then I can just take a trade from here and hold till this part. But now, before price push up a little bit and try to come down, man, I'm just gonna close my trade and let it go. You understand? So some days I can just stay out and just watch NAS, focus on gold. So it's not been as easy as this. You understand? Or when price was pushing here. But I'm still holding one little trade from where? I think from somewhere here, which we went up here, we came down. Oh, I don't mind if it came, if you come back and take me out, it is what it is. So yeah, so we have this on, where did I even stop? So now we're still bullish, all right? So look at this structure like this, right? We came from this, and maybe we try to create something like this. It's possible. You understand? It's very, very possible. So, but we just have to trust the bullish move for now on weekly. Though 4-hour and daily are not looking that exact bullish for now, but we're gonna do the proper time frame alignment and get what we're looking for. So we're still bullish on weekly. All right, we're still bullish on weekly. Let's align this with the 4-hour and see what we have on 4-hour. So looking at 4-hour now, we can see that, let me mark out something on the weekly and mark something out on the weekly. So still marking out this candle, using it as a support on the weekly, using it as a support. So we're still using this candle as our support on the weekly. That doesn't mean price can come and tap it as much as it wants, but anytime price taps it, we want to see a liquidity sweep. All right, keep writing all these things down. Remember in the beginning of the video, I told you there's some things that I'm gonna be telling you as we go on. All right, so remember, see, the other time that it came close to it and the other time that it tapped it, we had this liquidity sweep. That's why price ran up and swept the high and came back down. So now we just have to mark this out here. Okay, but seeing the way this candle closed, I also want to mark out this liquidity. All right, I want to mark out this liquidity also. Just leave it like this. See if this wants to if price wants to continue pushing higher from this level or from this, or it wants to come back lower. It's allowed to do whatever it like. Come down lower and continue pushing up like this, right? So yeah, and remember, as I'm doing this analysis, I'm doing it together with you. I've not done like deep analysis like this on my own for this weekend. I'm just doing things together with you guys, right? So now that we have these two levels, let's look at 4-hour so that we can get what 4-hour is actually saying properly. Okay, so looking at 4-hour, let me delete this one, have two here. So looking at 4-hour now, we can see that price swept this, right? So let me delete this. Let me delete this first, but we can have a little stuff marked out here because this is a weekly low. Okay, this is a weekly low whereby we could expect price to come back here one more time, sweep this, then continue going higher. So looking at 4-hour, we can see that 4-hour is clearly bearish. So this could be a pullback on the weekly. All right, this could be a pullback on the weekly because remember our time frame alignments, weekly and 4-hour. So this could be a pullback on the weekly. But again, looking at here, we have this order block. This is an order block on 4-hour. Mark it from the body of the candle. So this is an order block on 4-hour, and we created a small liquidity here on the 4-hour, which if price wants to continue going lower, we'll expect it to come back to this order block, give us that confirmation on 15 minutes, then drop lower, then come for this. But anything that makes price push up like this, anything that makes we open open on Monday and price push like this, we're bullish. We're becoming bullish. All right, so we're gonna trust that price and we go up with it. All right, so during the week, that is what I'll be looking at. I want to see if price wants to continue lower, see how we find our direction, right? So I want to see how we find our point of interest, right? So I want to see if price wants to continue lower. I want to see it take out this liquidity up here, then give us that confirmation on 15 minutes, then we'll drop lower, then to come sweep this liquidity now, right? But if it wants to continue going higher, which I don't really see it breaking this, I don't see NAS breaking this just easily. If it wants to break this, it could have started creating fair value gap after we took out this liquidity. Because remember, when it happened here the first time, you need to also look at what happened previously on NAS. So look at when it swept this, we started creating that fair value gap, telling us that fair value gap tells a lot of story, telling us that we're going to break above here. All right. So maybe if it does that and come here, I'm not just going to be interested because that is not what I want to see. Okay, that's not what I want to see. So if it does that, I'm just going to stay away. But based on what I've studied, based on what I've seen in the price, I want to see it sweep this, going lower, or go lower. If it keep going lower here, that means it's coming for this, and we should see a bullish run. All right. So I'm just gonna, until I start seeing some things on weekly, displacement on weekly, displacement on daily, and all that, before my analysis will change and turn to bearish. That doesn't mean I can scalp sells. I can scalp sells, but before I scalp sell, man, I have to look left and look right, look very well before I take those sells. So this is it on weekly and daily and 4 hour. So let's go to monthly. Let's go to monthly now, and I don't want to delete this yet. I'm going to leave it like that to the week. So looking at monthly, what do we have on the monthly? You can see this candle that we want to use as the support for price to push higher and take out the wick. Because if you look down here, you can see that we swept the low of this candle and closed back inside, closed back bullish, right? Closed back bullish. Then this also bullish, right? So we need to, this is where the liquidity is now, because it's from down liquidity to up liquidity, right? You can see we swept this, we came back, we took out this high, right? Anytime we sweep a low, it's possible that we're gonna go back to the high based on the analysis, all right? So we swept this. This was the fair value gap here. So yeah, so this is still my drawn liquidity. Like this is still my drawn liquidity. Unless we have a displacement lower, maybe something happened, maybe Donald Trump win the election or the other lady win the election. They say they don't agree. They started fighting war. You know, what I'm just trying to say is that unless if something happened and we start seeing a displacement to the other side, then of course we can change our analysis and start looking at the other side. You understand? So my interest is still here because I can see the monthly is still telling me the same thing. Okay, if I have to mark this body of this candle to here like this, you can see how will you trade this. If you have this, how will you trade this? You can see we closed above. This candle came and tapped it once, and this month just started. This is a new month, right? This is just a new month, so we can judge this. This is a new. This might still come down here and do damages before going back up, or might still. But for now, for what I can see, I expect this to hold. Okay, I expect it to hold, and we keep going up, right? So we trade what we see at the moment, not what we didn't see. Just trade what we see for now. Until what we didn't see, when it happened, then we can adjust. You understand? And trade what we see again later on. But for now, we're trading what we see. I hope you understand what I mean. By the time what we didn't see happen, then we can also trade what we see, what we're seeing then. Anyways, English is not my language, but I hope you understand. Okay, right. So now we are here on the monthly, right? We're still here on the monthly. Have to align it with the weekly. So aligning, I don't like too many things on my chart. Let's just which one should I delete now? Okay, let me delete this since we're talking about the monthly. So, okay, since we're talking about the monthly, let me delete this and just leave that monthly. So with the daily, this is also looking like a pullback for the monthly, right? Because remember, the first time we tapped into this monthly, remember what I said? I'm looking for a bullish fair value gap to tell me that we're gonna push higher, right? That is what I'm looking for on the daily. So we didn't have a bullish fair value gap here, though price pushed up. We didn't have here. Then price created one here, which is not really. I don't see it like because remember, there's nothing here. There's no inversion fair value gap. So you could push price, but not as strong as inversion fair value gap is gonna be, right? So then now we still want to see a bullish daily fair value gap. So now we're seeing bearish daily fair value gap. And what does it line up with? We have an inversion. We have an inversion here. Okay, we have an inversion daily fair value gap, and we have an order block here. So we're gonna trust this. We will trust it to be the pullback, the beginning of a pullback. All right. So we're gonna mark this as our inversion fair value gap. All right. Inversion fair value gap is up here. Then the fair value gap itself, it's here. All right. So we're gonna trust this until it fails. Remember, you trade what you see at the moment. All right. You don't trade what you're scared of or whatever. You trade what you see at the moment. If it doesn't work, then you trade what you see again. All right. You trade what you see again, and you look at what price is doing previously. Then go with it. All right. So now, okay, now let me leave this here. All right. Let me still leave this here and see how it goes. Oh no. Let me take it out. Let me take it out. Let me take this out. Based on the daily, based on what I'm seeing on the daily, this should be here. And we just swept this and we created a fair value gap. All right. You can see how I came about this, right? I'm not just guessing. So we swept this high, all right, and we have this. Okay. So if we sweep this low, and we use this as an inversion and price went up, which I don't think that would happen. There's a lot here. Still want to see a down movement. All right. So let's leave this here until it fails. When it fails, then we can adjust to it. So while we have one here. So these are my liquidity levels. So my liquidity levels where I'm expecting a reversal. Right? We have a reversal here, and there could be a possible reversal here. So let's see. Wait, I want to make sure that this lines up with my 4-hour. Yes, it lines up with my 4-hour. You see, it lines up with the 4-hour, what I talked about on the 4-hour. So this is my daily. Let me delete this, make my chart look so too much lines. So guys, I think for those who were able to stay till now, good. For those who got bored, I hope next week you'll be able to stay to watch till the end, because I told you that I'm gonna drop a lot. Just look at my first video that I started with and look at this. You see the difference with my analysis. You see the difference with my analysis. But it's sad that then I got more views and got lower views now. But I think the reason is because so many of those that started with me then, they've learned how to trade, and now they're doing their thing, which is a good thing. You understand? Which is a good thing. So, but anyways, just like, subscribe, and so what am I gonna point out to you again? Nothing else to point out here, just that price is likely to come back to this weekly order block. I'll sweep this, then make a reversal. But I don't like marking out the weekly, monthly. So I want to leave the weekly levels there. All right. I want to leave the weekly levels there. So let me leave this level here. All right. Let me leave this level here. So yeah, I want to see what price will do when we get back into this. So yeah, guys, let's try to push and get this channel to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost there. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, I want to make a separate video of liquidity sweep and the entries. I want to make a liquidity sweep and the entries, because it's when price is choppy like this, you can use it to do a lot. All right. So let's look at gold. This is getting longer, but let's just look at gold. So gold, I talked about gold last week. We mentioned this other block here. We mentioned this other block where I said I didn't really trust this other block like that. I want to see price break above it, but if it happens to hold, we're gonna sell from there, because there's a fair value gap under here which could act as a draw on liquidity. All right. So gold went higher. Then at all-time high. I wanted to catch a sell, but it wasn't as clear as I wanted it to be. So what happened next? Gold started dropping, and I updated those in my free Telegram channel about this level. I actually marked out this and share it and see what happened when price got back into it. This was NFP. NFP stink into it, and the rest was history. So this is my draw on liquidity on gold, and we have something here on on weekly. So if we look at weekly, I didn't need to look at weekly because I can see what's happening on weekly based on the 4 hour. So looking at weekly, we can see that we have this fair value gap here, which could be a draw on liquidity, and we have another small one here. We have another small liquidity here, which I prefer price to react off this weekly. I want price to leave this, which would tell me that there will be a there's a momentum. Say price just react off this and start going up. So we need to line that up with the 4 hour. Once we line it up with the 4 hour, we get the results that we're looking for. So price is allowed to maybe come here, take out this liquidity. I think that's why I marked out that other one, but we will see which one wants to happen. So if it comes here and take out this liquidity and start pushing up higher, I can also trust it. Once I see my thing lining up on 4 hour, I can trust it that price wants to go higher. You understand? Because again, we have this fair value gap here, which is a breakaway gap. It's a breakaway gap on 4 hour. What's that telling us? That's telling us momentum. All right, that's telling us momentum. But for sure, when price come here, we should see a reaction, just like as it did here. It was a reaction. And this, okay, this was a smaller move than this. So yeah, gold is bearish on the 4 hour. That's a pullback on weekly. Weekly is still bullish, right? Until we start seeing displacements on the weekly, that's when we can say, okay, weekly it's bullish, right? So I don't want to look at monthly and daily on 4 hour on gold. That's too much high time frame that have nothing much to say. This monthly candle hasn't closed yet, so it just opened yesterday and has done a lot. So let's look at daily. Daily we also have an inversion fair value gap, and price closed below this candle that formed this fair value gap. Close below it, so we should see more down, a little more down movement, or maybe bigger down movements, but we will see what it wants to do. So if we continue seeing bearish move on the daily, that means monthly have a long way to go. This candle have a long way to go. If it wants to come fill up all this, or maybe come down here, I don't know, I'm just trading what I see right now. All right, so guys, for those who stayed till this time, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. For those who watched till the end, thanks a lot. For those who subscribe, new subscribers, I appreciate you. For the ones that watch and like, because come on, just watch and give me one like. All right, just watch and give me one like. This is free, giving you a lot of information for free. You understand? So, and doing this weekly analysis thing, it's not easy, because let me tell you the truth, many traders don't want to be wrong. You understand? They don't want to be wrong, but man, bro, I don't care if I get it wrong. You understand? And the way I'm giving it to you, I'm letting you know what you need to see for what you need to do next, and what you need to see and to stay away. You understand? So yeah, and very soon as I'm doing the review, right? At least I had one review here based on the trade that I took, right? So I'm gonna be doing more of that. So with that, hopefully you're gonna learn how to catch some move, right? Once you see a liquidity sweep, you wanna wait for that fair value gap to form. And if you see an inversion fair value gap, that's even high probability for you, then you take it from there. Understand? So let's look at, I saw something on 5 minutes here, because some of you might ask, okay, what about this 5 minutes? No, I don't use 5 minutes for reversal. I start my reversal at least from 15 minutes up. That's where I start my reversal, all right? I don't like to rush into trade. Okay, look at this one now. There was no other block here. There was no other block here. Price didn't close above this candle. We didn't close above it, right? We didn't close above it. So though we created the fair value gaps, so that's not a high probability. Price is still likely to take out the low. So that's what happened here. The first one took out the low, but after that, price continued going higher. Came here, created another inversion. So this should be the beginning of the move all right? But I don't take trades around here. I only wait for my section. Wait for my section, and I start taking my trade from here. I want to see this liquidity sweep or not, or SMT. SMT, there was SMT here. There was also an SMT here. So yeah. So that's it. There's so many things that I'm working on. I'm gonna share. As I said, once we get to that 1,000 subscribers, come on, bro. Come on, that's not a lot. You guys should do something. Maybe you can subscribe 2 times or 3 times. Let's get to that level so that I can start sharing more things. Not like I'm holding anything back. I'm not holding anything back. You understand? I'm giving you a lot, even on the breakdown videos and analysis video. Not holding anything back. Just that I want to make more videos during the week, right? I want to make more videos during the week where it's gonna be like teaching, more of analysis, more of review, you know, more of call outs, you know, things like that. Then we can get to live trading on YouTube, you know, things like that. So yeah, anyways guys, enjoy your weekend. Let me not waste much of your time. Enjoy your weekend, and if anything changes based on my analysis, based on my analysis here, I'm gonna share it in the free Telegram. All right, I'm gonna share it in the free Telegram. If you want to join my Instagram, here's my Instagram handle here. You can join my Instagram, Blue Traders. You can join my Instagram. Then on my Instagram, you can find a link to my Telegram, my free Telegram. You can find it there. All right. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and it's nice to speak to you again.